Freelance writers actually make money? How much money do they make? Well, in this video, I'm going to be showing you 10 freelancers that I know. I didn't hear about this. I know them. Like, these are people in my circle who clear out 6 figures every single year. And some of them are not, some of them I need 6 figures, not just like, beginner 6 figure, right? If you're just joining us for the first time, my name is Lily and I run this channel, Activating Wealth, where we activate the wealth potential that is already in you. And in the past few weeks, we've been talking about freelance writing and how you can activate your wealth by becoming a freelance writer. And for those of you who are old-time subscribers, I love you as always. Thank you so much for keeping the channel alive. And without much ado, let's get right into it. So the first person who I want to highlight is, and this is going to be the most surprising one because she's a person of color and she made her first 6-figure year while living in Nigeria. Her name is Chima Mmeje. She writes for tech companies like Wix and SEMrush. So Chima started out writing for content mills, where she wrote over 100,000 words every month for $400. Oh my god, that felt like modern day slavery to her. Chima is currently the founder of FCDC, which is a freelance coalition for developing countries. If you're a person of color, Chima Mmeje is someone you really want to follow. She teaches how to have audacity, the audacity you need as a person of color in order to charge as much as people who are more privileged, like white folks, especially white men. And just, she shares so many helpful tips for freelance writers, especially freelance writers of color. And you really need to join her community, because with FCDC, Chima has been able to pull so much weight from companies like SEMrush and Wix and Arabs, and there's been so many sponsorships going on as a result of Chima's efforts with the FCDC. So that is something you definitely want to check out. The second person on my list, and mind you, this list is not ordered in any sequence at all, it's just a random order. The second person on my list is a writer called Dominic Kent. Dom Kent, as is popularly known in the freelance writing world, is a unified comms writer. In the past 4 years, Dom recently tweeted about how he's made $750K in the last 3 years as a freelance writer. Oh my god! Now, you know what's even crazier is that Dom has made the bulk of this money, I think 300 in the past year alone. Now, what makes Dom unique? What makes him able to command the rate and the demand in order to generate that amount of money as a freelance writer? Dom is in a unique niche. Dom started out as he was working in the unified comms niche, and then he noticed a gap. There weren't enough writers who could take the topic of unified comms and present something that a reader at a certain knowledge level could understand. And so Dom took up the challenge, and today he dominates the unified comms niche. If there's a lesson here, it's that you should look within you or around you to find gaps that you and only you can fill. And the third person on my list is a guy called Brooklin Nash. Brooklin is a B2B SaaS writer in the sales tech niche. Brooklin runs an agency today, but before he became an agency owner, he was a very successful writer. He just made the transition into the agency business model this year. Before then, Brooklin worked with some of the dreamiest companies in the SaaS and tech field. And that's just crazy, because What I find interesting about Brooklyn and his strategy as a writer, not just whether he knows how to write or not, that's not the question here, is that he has a very unique marketing strategy. Is that he shares stuff that interests him, funny stuff that people can laugh about, and somehow Brooklyn still makes the ball. So when people tell you that you need to educate and educate and educate in order to create a successful freelance writing career, know that it might not actually be true. Sometimes you just need to show up and be yourself. The third fascinating writer on my list is Kat Boogaard. Kat is a mom of little kids just like me, and she inspires the hell out of me because somehow Kat has learned how to cut down her schedule. I think Kat only works 3 days in a week right now, and she spends the rest of her time with her family and her kids, being there for them and everything. And it's phenomenal because Kat still manages to pull in 6 figures on a schedule like that, being able to do what she wants. Kat writes in the D2C, e-commerce and productivity space, and believe you me, I think she's probably the best person to write productivity, because if you're a mom, you know that you need to stay on top of so many balls, you need to stay on top of so many things in order to get even the tiniest little bit of productivity. So she's got so much to share in the productivity niche, and that is actually where I first found Kat as a productivity writer. Yeah, moving on, the 5th person on my list is Kaleigh Moore. Kaleigh is, first of all, Kaleigh is a gorgeous goddess. And she writes in the D2C and e-commerce niche. And Kaleigh has been doing this. I think she tweeted recently about celebrating 9, 10, or 12 years as a freelance writer. I do not know. Kaleigh has so much influence in the freelance writing world right now because she's been doing this for so long. And I think the point here is that consistency trumps everything. Of course, Kaleigh has the talent. She's a wonderful woman. She's phenomenal and everything. But she's also very consistent. For you to have been freelance writing for close to or over a decade, it's got to take a lot of consistency. And that is paying off. The 6th person on my list, I remember for a long time I was inspired by this woman. She made the news when she was 21 about how she had dropped out of college, or she skipped college and started a freelance writing career, and she had hit 6 figures. Oh my god, at 21. Her name is Elise Dopson. She's a co-founder of Big Freelance, and which is a very helpful community for freelance writing folks, by the way. And Elise writes in the martech and e-commerce industry. She's written for sites like Shopify and like so many wonderful companies. Now, one thing I know about Elise is that she's a very good researcher, and she writes fast. I don't know how many pieces of content she does in a month, but I do know that she charges very premium, like $1 per word, maybe more right now, kind of charges for her content. The next person on my list is Michael Keenan. Michael is Elise's co-founder at Peak Freelance, and I discovered Michael through Elise. And Michael's an amazing guy, by the way. And Michael also writes in the martech and e-commerce space. Now these two are buddies. Elise and Michael are buddies. Like, you can literally see them writing for the same sites, which I think makes a point about networking and forming personal relationships with your freelance colleagues. I can only imagine when Elise gets a lead who ends up being a client, she brings Michael on. And when Michael gets a lead who ends up being a client, he brings Elise on. The next person on my list is Ashley Cummings. Ashley, like me, is another wonderful mom. Like, Ashley is is goals. Ashley is goals. And she's also in the D2C and e-commerce industry. I remember Ashley tweeting about how she only works 5-hour work days, 3 times a week, or 4 times a week, I'm not sure. And my God, Ashley makes so much money by working so little. And what she has been able to do is she has been able to nail down project management skills so much. Ashley uses a VA, a research assistant, to help her get her articles to the to the research level, and then she takes the research that her VA submits and she creates a first draft from it, and that is how Ashley is able to write very fast. Holly Johnson. I first learned about Holly when I was a blogger, and I think I was scrolling past an article on Business Insider or Medium or somewhere, and it just something caught my attention. It was about a mom who was making not 1, not 2, but 300K a year from freelance writing. Oh my God, my mind was blown. And I even had the honor of inviting Holly to come and interview and just share a few tips with us on one of my sites, which is strictly for moms. The link in the description box, so make sure you check that out if you're a mom. But come on, moms are really kicking ass in this industry. If you're a mom who's doing any awesome thing out there, it doesn't matter if you're a freelance writer or not, please leave your what it is that you do and how you're kicking ass there in the comments box. I want to see moms doing stuff. And that's it for the freelance writers out there that I know in my circle, not heard, not claimed, but these are people that I know who are making 6 figures, who are banking 6 figures every single year from freelance writing. I hope this list has inspired you. I hope this list has shown you what is possible out there. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like it, to keep me motivated to make more, and to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you do not miss any of the videos in this wonderful series. See ya!